things in my hands. Welcome back. Don will be joining us in just a minute. So I will just go ahead and mention that this book, Awakening the Kind Heart, by Kathleen McDonald, that he has been reading from and referring to, is available in our bookstore. I don't have a lot of experience but it's with it, but even from what we've heard here, it's lovely. So, and if anybody needs somebody to check them out in the bookstore, I am able to do that. I'm not standing there at the bookstore, but if you need help in the bookstore, please feel free to ask me. I can help you. This is the book.
Okay, good. Wow. There, it's on this time. Seems a little loud, but okay. Is that better? Not quite as echoey, perhaps. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll just do our meditation on love, immeasurable love. Again, you might have handy that single sheet, the one that has the verse that we're going to recite when we get to the place where we're cultivating immeasurable love, kind of love for all sentient beings. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't cover the kindness of others. Let's do the meditation first, and then I'll talk about that. So what we're going to do is, when we get to the second step, we're going to first cultivate love for ourselves, and then secondly, cultivating love for, we'll just work with friends. Because that's kind of an easy place to start. After we work with ourselves and we work with those people that we're already quite close to, or animals that we're quite close to, you can take your pick there when we talk about friends or dear beings. And then for the third step, we'll generate this out for all sentient beings. And then I'll come back around and talk a little bit about the kindness of others so that we can understand some of the rationale for extending kindness beyond just our friends to those people who are strangers as well as to those who are difficult, and cover a little bit of that. So let's just find a good meditation posture. Again, making sure that the back is straight. And when I say that, that doesn't mean that you overly straighten the back like you're standing at attention when you were, in grade school or something. It means that you just find that place where the spine is naturally upright, where hopefully you don't need to use a lot of tension in any of the muscles in the lower back to hold you in that position. You just have this sort of natural uprightness to the body. And the head is on top of the spine. You can tilt it forward very slightly, and you can close your eyes if you wish. Sometimes it's useful to do that. But also in this tradition, we emphasize keeping the eyelids slightly open, and if that's comfortable for you, it's helpful to do that, especially after we just ate lunch, so the mind might be a little tired because of digesting the food from lunch. So check the rest of your posture. Make sure that you're in a comfortable position, with the body somewhat relaxed. And then, as usual, we're going to do just a few minutes of focusing on the breath, and then we'll set our motivation and go right into this meditation on immeasurable love. So do whatever meditation you find appropriate for working with the breath. If you don't have one that you already use, as I mentioned earlier, you can tune into that sensation at the tip of the nose, where you feel the air coming in through the nostrils and then going back out through the nostrils, and just try to stay focused on that as best as you can. When the mind wanders, then gently bring the mind back to the breath. So I'll ring the chime, and then we'll do a few minutes in silence and continue with the guided meditation. So before we begin the meditation on loving kindness, just refresh your motivation of bodhicitta, recognizing that while the main goal is to be a benefit to all sentient beings, in order to accomplish that, we have to work on ourselves. And in particular, we have to develop these qualities that we're working on this weekend. So we're going to meditate on loving kindness, so that we can eventually have this to this limitless degree, this immeasurable degree, being able to hold all beings as the object of that thought. And in this way, be able to create the causes and conditions for us to eventually achieve that state of perfect Buddhahood, where we will be able to enact that fully, be fully attentive to the needs of others, helping every one of them to find happiness and the causes of happiness. And think that it's for this reason that you're going to do this meditation as well as engage in this afternoon's teachings. So again, this will be in 3 parts, and we're going to start with the first part where we cultivate loving kindness towards ourselves. This is an important step, and sometimes people find this to be even the most difficult step, is to work with generating this thought aimed at ourselves. And first, just consider how you are exactly the same as all beings. in the simple desire to be happy, to have the causes of happiness. There's no difference between yourself and others in that fundamental way. Then we'll begin to generate this attitude of loving kindness towards ourselves with that understanding that we're just like others in that simple desire. And begin by accepting the reality that each of us has faults, shortcomings, but we need to accept ourselves as we are, to be able to embrace ourselves with whatever imperfections as well as whatever qualities we have. We're going to have that kind of embracing of ourselves within the space of wherever we're at. We know we're not perfect, but we're still very worthy, very deserving of love, of this desire to be happy. And as part of this, we can acknowledge that we do have the potential to cultivate even deeper qualities. We do have the potential to remove our negative tendencies. We can change, we can grow, we can experience greater happiness. And really think about this for yourself and want this for yourself. And give yourself the space to fulfill that potential, truly wishing yourself to be happy. And then finally begin to cultivate that love towards yourself with phrases that you speak to yourself in very gentle, kind ways. And find the words that are appropriate for you. But they might be something like, may I be happy. May I be safe, free from harm and danger. May I have all that I need to be truly happy, peaceful, satisfied. May all my thoughts and actions be positive, and all my experiences good and beneficial. So again, just come up with the words that work for you, but speak to yourself in these ways, really genuinely wanting yourself to have true happiness, temporal happiness, all the way through the ultimate happiness of liberation and enlightenment. And just keep repeating these loving thoughts towards yourself. As you continue to hold these thoughts towards yourself, wanting yourself to be truly happy, imagine that the warm energy of loving kindness in your heart, whatever kind of energy is there, not being judgmental about that at all, just simply acknowledging whatever warm energy you have that's generated on the basis of these thoughts. Feel that it radiates out, gradually filling your entire body, your entire mind, and you become suffused with happiness and all the causes of happiness. That becomes your whole being. As you continue to say these words, of care, of love towards yourself. May I be happy. And then having done this for ourselves, again, no judgment on any success we've had with it, just whatever has happened is good enough. But we now want to extend this to others. And we're going to work with someone who's from that group of what we consider to be friends, dear ones. And here you might choose somebody who you find that your heart opens up naturally to. That could be, again, a person in your life or a pet, someone who you feel very comfortable working with and trying to extend loving kindness to them. Visualize them in the space before you, here in your presence. And remind yourself that just like you, this being wants to be happy, wants the causes of happiness. It has the potential to do that, to experience that. And begin to cultivate thoughts of loving kindness towards this being with similar words to what you use towards yourself. Thinking things like, may you be happy, may you be safe, free from any danger or harm. May you have all that you need to be truly happy, to be peaceful, to be fully satisfied. May you have only good experiences. May you be filled with bliss. May you be happy. And find the words that work for you and just cultivate that thought continually towards that being in front of you, opening your heart more and more with loving kindness. And once more, any loving kindness that you feel in your heart, feel it completely fill your being. And extend that out to the being in front of you, watching them filled with happiness, all the causes of happiness. See them in that state of having achieved that fully, completely. And then we're going to jump to the level of working with all sentient beings, the third part of this meditation. And we can once more recognize